This is the German Touring Car Masters. Today, race number 9 from Zandvoort, and this is the man that is going to be very important. He qualified third. His name, Matthias Ekström. He surprised everybody. The young Swede has had a great season, and here in Zandvoort, well, things didn't go too badly. He'll be starting third, and that's very important for him because Audi needs all the teamwork they can get in order to get their top number 1 driver, Laurent Aiello, to the championship. Starting second, this man right here, Christijan Abt in another Audi. He had some problems in qualifying, but it still didn't stop him. He's on the front row. He's very important because he has to be there to help hold back the Mercedes Armada to allow Laurent Aiello, his teammate, to come forward and get a championship. Qualifying was really important. The car was better, and I was held up by a slower car. But he was also on a fast lap and really couldn't let me pass. It was simply slower, and I had to stay behind him in the last 2 segments. I lost 0.3 of a second, but it'll be okay. And this is Marcel Fessler from Switzerland. This is the man that's going to be starting on the pole. He's in a Mercedes. He is the key if the Mercedes driver Bernd Schneider wants to have a chance for the title. Fessler has had a pretty good season, but right now he is the key figure in the Mercedes Championship drive. His teammate Bernd Schneider needs 7 points in this race to hold up a chance for the championship in the last race of the season, which will be at Hockenheim. But right now, Fessler is also looking for his second victory. He won in Austria, but now he's going to have to prove he can do it again. And this is the man that is on the pole position. Well, he was. And then all of a sudden, it was found in tests that the gasoline he had in his car was polluted. He won't even start in the qualifying race. After qualifying, there was a mandatory benzene check, and it was found that our gasoline was polluted. It wasn't like all the others, as it should have been. It's rather unusual, and now we're going to have to analyze everything to see what happened. The only possibility is that when we tested last week at the Euro Speedway, there were particles left in the tank, and that changed the texture of the gasoline. But the tests will tell. So now Laurent Aiello is going to have a long day ahead of him. He's going to have to work once again very hard if he wants that championship. The reason's simple. The consequences are stiff. The sport officials say that they will disqualify Aiello's qualifying time, so he won't start the qualifying race. He can start the main race, but he's going to have to start at the back of the field. And this is Zandvoort, a resort area in the Netherlands. Thousands of people come here each year for all types of summer activities. The beaches are full. Downtown is full, and of course, there's all types of water activity in Zandvoort. But then, several times a year, they don't come just for the beach and for the water. They come for the races. And here in Zandvoort, some 45,000 fans for the weekend as the drivers go around the track to wave to the fans before the start of the race today here in Zandvoort. This is the 4th race of the season for the German Touring Car Masters outside of Germany. And there's all kinds of showbiz every weekend.
It's always good to drive in your own country. At least you can speak in your own language, which is fun from time to time, because normally German is the main language. And then I haven't been here for a very long time, so I'm very happy to be here. And if you look at how many people came today, they broke a new record by 20,000. So in total there are over 50,000 today. So I think it's fantastic. The whole program is fantastic, and it shows that DTM is very popular nowadays in Holland.
I like it really a lot, and because the people are so enthusiastic, and I like it to drive for my fans here. So I think it's really good here to drive. It always gives you a special feeling.
The racetrack here in Zandvoort, 2.67 miles long. They'll run 8 laps in the qualifying race, 24 in the main race. It's the second time that German Touring Car Masters have run this course. The pressure has started, but not in the fans. They're cooling it in the dunes, getting ready to watch and see if Bernd Schneider can really hang on to his chances for a championship in the German Touring Car Masters, or if Laurent Aiello, despite all the problems he's faced here, will be able to come up with a championship, or at least be able to make things a little narrower going into the last race of the season at Hockenheim. There's the Audi of Christijan Abt starting on the outside. The cars being pushed up. Fessler's Mercedes on the pole. Over 45,000 fans for the weekend here in Zandvoort. One car will not be out there on the track. Laurent Aiello, he has to watch this one from the truck. So here we go, the start of the race. Fessler on the right gets a great start. Christijan Abt gets a lousy start. It looks like Ekstrom was able to pull into second place. And it's Marcel Fessler in the Mercedes. Ekstrom in the Audi is running second. And then the cars are sorting themselves out. It looks like one of the Opels has made a great start. Christijan Abt is sitting up into third position. You've got Meunier in the Opel running in what would be fourth, followed by Manuel Reuter in another Opel. So the Opels are off to a great start here in Zandvoort. You'll see that it's a very hilly course. It's a very bumpy course. And you can also see by the guardrails it's very narrow. Touring cars are okay here, but his days of Formula One are not to probably repeated, at least under the conditions the track is built under this situation. Touring cars, you can see, bounce here through parts of this course. Very fast, a lot of blind corners. And here comes Fessler, Ekstrom, Abt, working their way through. And Bernd Schneider is in 7th position. Now Schneider is going to have to see if he can get some points somewhere. He's way back in the pack. This is a very difficult course to pass on. If you pass, you take a chance, and you usually do it in a rather unusual place, as they did last year with Uwe Alzen and Christijan Abt. Alzen and Abt put on a great show here with a last lap, almost lap corner pass. Right now, Timo Scheider gives you a look at the action here in Zandvoort. Bernd Schneider in the middle of those 3 cars you're seeing right there. He's ahead of you here. Timo Scheider is running right behind him in the Opel. So Marcel Fessler has control of the race. As we have seen over the last couple of races, teamwork is heavy right now with the points race up for grabs. Mercedes would like to have the defending champion, Bernd Schneider, come back with the title again. Of course, Audi, after 2 miserable years, would like to take the title home, and they have a good chance if Aiello can come back and do a great start and finish in the main race today. But that's a long way away. The top 3 positions pay points here. That's Carl Bendlinger moving up through the field in another Audi to see if he can get forward to help the rest of the team. 3 points for the winner, 2 points for second, 1 point for third. So if Bernd Schneider wants to pick up any points at all, and he has to have at least 7 to make the championship go into the Hockenheim event, he's going to have to move up. He's still back in the pack. He's got a long way to go, back in 6th position. And he's going to have a difficult time, mainly because you got those 2 Opels ahead, and Opel has had what they would call a disastrous season. And if they can finish well here, nothing is going to stop them. They're not going to let anybody by. So you have Fessler, Ekstrom, then Abt controlling the field. It's not exactly what the Audis wanted, but that's the way it is. There are the 2 Netherlands Dutch drivers. Hoesman sending Albers off the course. And as the instance we talked about, that's one of the places that you can pass, and that was where Christijan Abt got by Ekstrom. So the boss, the co-owner of Abt Racing Sportsline that puts the Audis on the track, is now running in 2nd position. Everyone is wondering if this race will be decided, shall we say, by fair means or others. There's a lot at stake here, and a number of the drivers are not afraid to sincerely bump tires. I mean, they will bump whatever they have to do, and they usually do. Another look at the spin back in the pack. It's not been a great day for them. Here's the Mercedes pit watching all the action. Fessler in one of the 2002 Mercedes is out in front. Christijan Abt is running second. Ekstrom is running third. They've got to finish up in those positions to run a protection for Aiello in the main race of the day. But really impressive, and probably going as unnoticed by the fans as much as it should, is the fact that the Opels are running so good. There's Hoosman in his Mercedes. That's last year's model. Right there are the two Opels, those two yellow running 4th and 5th position. We're into the last lap of the qualifying race. It doesn't look like Bernd Schneider is going to be able to pick up any points here. So they'll be starting as they would of the weekend when they go into the main race. The main race will cough up 10 points to the winner. Then it goes 6, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So what it's going to mean is Bernd Schneider, in order to have a chance at the title, is going to have to win the feature race. If Bernd Schneider does not win the feature race, then Laurent Aiello will be declared the champion. 2002 in the German Touring Car Masters. Great look at this course here in Zandvoort. A very difficult section with all the bouncing that goes around coming into that corner. You can see the blind corners. They come up over hills and have to make their turns without knowing exactly what has happened ahead of them. Most of the drivers really like the course. Jean Alesi, the former Formula One driver for Mercedes, is not quite as enthusiastic, mainly because, as you can see, the guardrails are very close to the course. And since Formula One has very wide runoff areas, he's not too happy about that. But otherwise, everyone seems to be doing well. Marcel Fessler controls the race. Christijan Abt and Ekstrom running 2nd and 3rd with the Opels right behind him. So they've held off Bernd Schneider, at least, here in the first event of the next to last race weekend of the season in the German Touring Car Masters here in Zandvoort. Coming down for the last corner. And Fessler is going to come home, your winner in the qualifying race, with Christijan Abt running 2nd. Ekstrom is running 3rd. Bernd Schneider finishes out of the points in 6th position. The man is back. Eric Ellery, one of the top French touring car drivers, has rejoined the German Touring Car Masters this weekend. He is in an Opel. He drove last year in the series, has not driven a race this year, but now is stepping in as a seat was open. He's a touring car ace.
This car was available, and JJ Leto was driving it in our A1 ring. So JJ is not available for here, and Volker asked me, do you want to drive for us again? I said, yes, for sure. This is the best championship in the world in terms of touring cars, for sure. And it's a great opportunity for me to drive again.
Ellery has a great history. This is from Le Mans in 1997. He's driven just about all types of cars there are, but touring cars has become his specialty. In 1998, he drove in the Super Touring Car Cup. And, of course, he had his share of trips to the podium. He also had some very exciting moments on the track. Ellery is a gentleman driver, not known for becoming rough on the track, but he also can show emotions, as he did there. But now from Super Touring Cars, he's back in the German Touring Car Masters.
As you know, it will not be easy for me this weekend because the level is so high. I had 20 laps testing before coming here in Italy. And since we are here, the track is changing every 2 minutes. We had dry, wet, medium, heavy rain. So for me, every time I go in the car, the circumstances are different.
That may be the case, but everyone knows that he has an opportunity to do well here. Volker Stritzek from Opel is certainly one of those who knows Eric Ellery extremely well, and he's hoping that Ellery can help bring Opel back to the front in the German Touring Car Masters. The one thing Ellery is very popular with the photographers and with the press. He always has a moment to talk to just about everyone, including the fans. On the racetrack, he becomes very serious. And here at Zandvoort, making sure he, the car, fit the track, and takes the time for all the interviews, well, that's a lot of work for one man to handle here. We're ready to go. This will be the feature race of the day in the German Touring Car Masters. Uwe Alzen. He won the feature race here last year. He would like to get up to be able to help his teammate Bernd Schneider, Peter Dumbreck from Scotland, in another Mercedes. Also looking to get back up front, but he's had his share of problems here in Zandvoort. And this is the man for Audi, Christijan Abt. The best would be is if he could win the start. It's very important to stop that blockade of Mercedes and Fessler, but we'll just have to see. Here it goes. Fessler and Abt, and then Ekstrom Menu in the Opel. Those are the top two rows. In the third row, Manuel Reuter in Opel, and then Bernd Schneider, the car that everyone's going to have to watch. Uwe Alzen and Timo Scheider. Then there's Wendlinger and Bartels, both looking to have an improvement on their season so far. Martin Tomczyk starting further back than he normally would. Also a little bit further back, Husmann and Alesi having his trouble here on this particular track. Jochen Winkelhock in 15th, Eric Ellery we talked about. Bernd Mailander and then Peter Dumbreck. And as we head toward the very end, Mücke and Albers. And finally in the very last position, there he is, Laurent Aiello. Long way to go if he wants the championship. Fessler on the right. And Abt on the left. Abt got a great start. Fessler did not. Everybody is away. Ekstrom is running in second, and he's right in front of Menu. Menu is trying to get by, but they go everywhere, and Ekstrom holds him off. Ekstrom was not going to let him by. The Audis need to control. Michel Bartels spins and is off the track. Bernd Schneider is now going to have his work cut out for him. He's going to have to win the race if he wants the title. It's as simple as that. That was Martin Tomczyk's Audi, who has a problem. So Audi lost one of its cars early here. Christijan Abt is out in front. Ekstrom is running in second place. They need to control the race, and they don't want to let anybody by. Running in third, Menu. Look at that. Bernd Schneider running fourth. He has got to move up. There is no question. And he has a long way to go. Menu is not going to let him by just to be nice. Menu needs to make a good scene for Opel. And look at that Tomczyk car. A lot of work to be done on that one. So the Audis are running 1 and 2, then the Opels, and then come Mercedes, with Schneider running in fourth position. And Fessler, who had the very bad start, is back in sixth position. And Laurent Aiello, well, he's got a long way to go. He's working his way up through, but still got a long handle to make it to the front. Looking at the score sheet, it looks like he's made up a lot of ground, though. He started 21st, is now in 12th position, and continues to push forward here, trying to make his way to the front. He's getting by some of the older cars. The Mercedes cars that blocked him in Austria have made a little bit more room for him this time. He had some bumping experiences in Austria that he was not too happy about, trying to get by some of the 2001 cars. A little bit slower, but they were doing their job trying to stop him from getting to the front in that crazy race in Austria, which kept the championship open, headed here to the Netherlands. Meanwhile, up front, Christijan Abt is out in front. You can see the distance now that Aiello is putting between himself and the cars he just passed, but the tough passes are really ahead here. Tomczyk is finally making it back into the pits. Ekstrom is running in second. Menu is running third. There is Bernd Schneider. Now Schneider has got to figure out, does he want to see if he can stay in fourth position and wait till the pit stops and see if his crew can get him out ahead of this bunch? Or is he going to have to try to push now? Or does he want to wait and see what the tire situation develops? A lot of questions here, but one thing's for sure. If he wants a chance, he's got to win the race. Tomczyk's beaten car, the Audi, coming into the pits. They're going to see if they can get it ready and back out. Audi wants every car on the track they possibly can to help Laurent Aiello, no matter where they are. Right now, Audi has 1 and 2, with an Opel running third. So Bernd Schneider has his hands full. Right now, Aiello is running right behind Bernd Mailander and is trying to make the pass here. Mailander, the man that drives the pace car in Formula One, and on the other weekends drives in the German Touring Car Masters. As you can see, a good crowd here at Zandvoort. Aiello's having his problems here getting by Mailander. Mailander is not known as one of those that has a tendency to bump a little bit or to block seriously. Some other drivers that are still further ahead are a little tougher to get by. Right now, Bernd Schneider has his hands full, running in 4th position. Another great look at that segment with the cars bounce up through the corner, coming up over that hill. But the Audis continue out in front. Christijan Abt is your leader. He almost had the race won here last year, lost it on the second to last corner to Uwe Alzen. There were some hard feelings after that one and some severe bumping after the finish line. Here comes Aiello once again, trying to work on Mailander, and he doesn't make it. He can't get by him. Mailander doing everything he can to hold back Aiello. But right now, Aiello gets inside going in, and Mailander didn't have a chance here. Mailander didn't have a chance as Aiello now moves up to 11th position. It's not so much important where Aiello finishes, unless he can get up higher up into the points, as to where Bernd Schneider finishes. The Audi crew watching all the action. So much has happened this season. The beginning of the year, the Audis were dominant. Aiello couldn't be stopped. And then every problem that could arise in every race situation that was negative to Audi certainly had to happen over the last several races. And Aiello has not been able to clinch the title. Take another look at the start. You can see that Fessler got off to a terrible start. Ekstrom took advantage of it, ducked in behind the boss, Christijan Abt, and everybody else got off to a good start. But another look at it. You see there, Fessler stalled, something happened. And that was great for Menu as he was able to swing into the 3rd position. Bernd Schneider now pulling up, trying to move up. Boy, everybody's braking late, trying to get in. Schneider swings into the 4th position. And then Fessler's going to drop back, and we had the Bartel spin with Tomczyk. And there's the blocking that went on. Ekstrom was not going to let Menu through. Audi wants to hold the 1-2 position. You can see Schneider working his way up into 4th. Then you see the exhibition in the back here. Aiello got through that without a problem. Meanwhile, up front, Christijan Abt and Ekstrom, they can control the race. They control the pace. They don't have to set record speeds. What they want to do is keep the field somewhat slow so that Aiello has a chance to get to the front, at least as far as he can. That's Aiello's wife and crew watching all the action. So Laurent Aiello working his way forward, but he's got a long way to go. Pit stops are ahead. They could be crucial. Look at that. Reuter, who had finished well in the first race, has dropped back into 7th position. Did not get off to a great start. Menu did. Menu is running in 3rd in this group right here. Right behind him is Bernd Schneider. Then Uwe Alzen is behind Schneider, which means he'll be difficult for Aiello to get by if he wants to get up on Schneider's back bumper. We keep looking ahead like we are right now because over the last couple of races, the teamwork has been amazing. Each team working to make it more and more difficult for the other car to move forward. And Austria was the one that topped it all off. Some of the most exciting last 2 laps that's ever happened in German touring car racing. Amazing. Which brings us to the championship wide open here in Zandvoort. And this man right here, Bernd Schneider, still with a shot at the title, needing 7 points to keep the title chase open, which means he has to win the race. 10 points for a victory, 6 for second. He finishes second, it's over. Then it doesn't matter where Aiello comes in. And it looks like Christijan Abt's getting a little bit of a lead here. Ekstrom, and they're pulling away from Menu and Schneider. You can see the 2 Mercedes behind him, and then in that yellow Opel is Manuel Reuter. Here is Christian Albers, taking a little bit of a different course here in Zandvoort in front of his home crowd. He and Hoosman have not had what you'd call a stellar weekend in front of the home team. Here they come once again. We're headed nearer and nearer toward the pit stop mark. These are mandatory pit stops. They have to come in, change all tires, and it can and will and has in some of the previous races decided the winner. Meanwhile, Laurent Aiello continues to roll. You can see that Aiello is not that far behind. He can see the front periodically, but that is not as important as where Schneider is as far as his other teammates are concerned. If Abt and Ekstrom do their job and stay and hold their positions, then it's all over. The title will be decided, and it will be an open race weekend at Hockenheim. Here comes Aiello again. He's got Thomas Jaeger ahead of him. This was another difficult pass in Austria. Let's see what happens here. Jaeger, one of the young drivers in the Mercedes crew, but he certainly made a wide car in Austria. Let's see what he does here. Aiello has got to get by him. He has to keep trying his best to get near the front. Whoa, Jaeger really held the braking to the last minute. He's trying to hold him up. And so far, he seems to be doing it. They've got Jean Alesi here. And Aiello has got a difficult ride here. Somewhere he's going to have to get by both of them. Alesi, the former Formula One driver, gave him room. And now he's got to go back after Jaeger again, but that was again slowing up time, slowing him down. But Schneider is still within striking distance. You can see him in 4th position there. Not far behind, but everybody's now waiting probably for the pit stops or the big break. Aiello can't wait. Aiello has to work at it, and he's doing just about everything he can. Here's that incident with Alesi, who's had his share of problems. Aiello pulls up behind Alesi and then makes the pass. Laurent Aiello from France, looking for his first German Touring Car Masters title. He won the Super Touring Car Championship in Germany. He's won touring car titles in France and in England, but this is the big one that has evaded him so far. And now he's at least close. But the title right now, because of where he had to start at the back of the pack, is not in his hands. It belongs in the hands of Bernd Schneider, who has to win, and to the hands of his teammates, Christian Abt and Ekstrom, who are running 1st and 2nd. Eric Ellery with a problem, and he goes off the course. J.J. Lechto drove that car in Austria, and like Ellery, has moved up through the pack in the main event. The question is, who's going to drive it next year? It was driven by Yves Olivier for most of the season, and then Lechto took a ride last race, and now it's Eric Ellery. The difference between Schneider in the front remains about the same. Menus remains in 3rd place, not able to get by. And look at this, Ekstrom has passed Christian Abt. Matthias Ekstrom is taking the lead. Now something must be wrong with the Abt car. Christian Abt is not going to let something like that happen. He wants to control the race so that his team comes home with the Drivers' Championship. So right now, Ekstrom's getting a big lead, or Ekstrom's car is quicker, Ekstrom is quicker, so Christian Abt took over 2nd and kind of takes a little bit of the wind out of the sails of the cars behind him. This could be the strategy to a point where he slows the rest of the pack down. Ekstrom gets a big lead, and with the pits ahead, who knows? Pit stops coming up. Schneider still running in 4th position. It must be very frustrating for him, but now he has to hope that when the pit stops come, it belongs to him. Here's the pass. Abt let him by. Matthias was in beginning up front, and then we switched. I was hoping I could be faster in the qualifying race, but it really didn't go that much better for me. What about your pulse? Regular. But right now, everybody's pulse is a little bit high because the pit stops are ahead. Christian Abt, Alain Menu, then comes Bernd Schneider. The question is, how quickly can Schneider get out? We'll have to see. It's going to be a big question. Whoops, here we go. Oh, look at this. Christian Abt has slowed them down. Christian Abt goes into the pits. He went down to the regulation speed way before they had to. This is going to cost Bernd Schneider time. It's going to gain time for Aiello and also for Ekstrom. Whoa, that was tactics. Here comes Schneider in. He has to make the change, but he's lost valuable time. There was nothing illegal about what he did. Abt just got down to speed when he needed to. Abt comes out behind him. Schneider beat everyone else out of the pits, but the damage, at least that time damage, has now been done. There's your leader, Matthias Ekstrom. He's going to have to come into the pits very quickly. Everybody else has been in, he's going to have to come in. And there's the parade that could have decided this race. Schneider puts the brakes on way early because Christijan and the Audi slowed down to the speed limit of the pits way early, picking up valuable seconds for the Audis. Now this is the man that is out in front, Matthias Ekstrom. He has a clear track ahead of him. The question is, when is he going to pit? But now he can get a little bit of breathing room, at least he hopes, from the rest of the field. If he can win the race, it's great for him, but even better for Laurent Aiello. But we're still a long way away from that. And here comes Aiello, taking advantage of an open track, but he's going to have to pit. Aiello would like to get as far to the front as he possibly can. This is a tough track to pass on. He's going to have to work at it. Ekstrom is now pitted. Timo Schneider has the lead. Aiello, who is not pitted, is running in third place. Jonah Lazy is running in fourth. Vesler and Reuter have both pitted and are up near the front. This is going to be interesting, because now we have to wait till they sort things out as the rest of the pits take place, but it looks like Ekstrom should take over the lead. The question is going to be, can he hold on to it? The young Swedish driver has had quite a season so far, but the one thing that has evaded him is to win in a feature race. He has won 2 of the qualifying races, but not any of the feature races. Now it's up to the pit crew from Laurent Aiello and the Audi team to get him in and out as quickly as possible to give him a chance to move up closer to Bernd Schneider. If he can pick up some points, that narrows things down going into Hockenheim if Bernd Schneider can win the race. Then again, if Schneider doesn't win, he's got the championship no matter what. All the attention now on 3 cars, Ekstrom, Schneider, and on this man right here, Laurent Aiello. Is he going to be able to come in and out of the pits quick enough to gain ground? That is the question. And can the Opels keep going? They've kind of been shoved aside by all the other point questions that are going on, but the Opels looking for a good finish. At least they were running extremely well. Reuter and Menu had put on quite a show. Laurent Aiello is out in front of the race, but remember, he has not gone into the pits. Timo Schneider has pitted. Lazy is pitted, so Lazy could move up. Taking a look at that field, it's working its way around to decide who is where here.
My race was quite difficult because I had a very bad start in a qualifying race. Then it was very, very difficult to pass the driver. Then slowly I catch some position. Then for the long race I made a good start, but I was able just to finish 8th. It's a difficult weekend. We try everything, but some races it's more difficult than the other one.
This is the pit stop of Laurent Aiello. He had been leading. He would like to come back out on the track somewhere near or up in the points. And now it's up to him to see if he can gain some ground in order to be able to pick up some points to either take the championship, or at least give him some points to cut the difference going into the last race in Hockenheim. There is Dumbrecht coming by with Ekstrom. Great shots. And there's Bernd Schneider Fessler's behind him. Then comes Reuter and the rest of the crew as you get a look at the dune circuit of Zandvoort in the Netherlands. There's the updated standings. So Peter Dumbreck, who is not pitted, is out in front. Ekstrom will take the lead when Dumbreck goes in. And look at that. Bernd Schneider is running in fourth. He'll move into second after all the pit stops. So this is going to be one of those difficult times. And look at this. Schneider is letting Fessler by. Schneider is letting Fessler by. Is something wrong with Schneider's car, or is it tactics? It could be Fessler's running better right now. Mercedes would like Fessler to go charging to the front and go after Ekstrom and make life difficult for him in hopes that Bernd Schneider could then come up and make the pass. But that's still a ways to go here. It's an interesting strategy. The question is going to be, will it work? Look at this. Aiello is right there, and he can see the cars he needs. The problem is he's got Uwe Alzen ahead of him. Uwe Alzen is one of the toughest men to pass in this series. He grew up in touring car racing, never did anything in formula racing. He has been used to this type of racing all his life, and he can be difficult to get by. He can be difficult when he wants to get by you. This is going to be a tough nut to crack. That's all there is to it. Aiello is going to have his work cut out for him here. Aiello, not known for too much of the bumping and door bending. Alzen, definitely known for it. It'd be interesting to see. Alzen has gotten the message from the pits already. Do your best. Hold him off. They've got to give Bernd every chance. Here comes Aiello. No, he did not have room, did not get in. Going into that tight chicane. Here comes Aiello again. There you can see what's oh, he lost it a little bit there. Aiello gets inside, but not quite. That was what happened. Alzen made a small mistake, but Aiello couldn't take advantage of it. Coming up to the Tarzan curve. The tension is building in the Abt pit. Laurent cannot afford to, whoa, a braking mistake possibly by Alzen, and it looked like a small tap by Aiello. Laurent Aiello is by Uwe Alzen. The question is, how did he do it? And if he didn't do it quite properly, will the officials say something about it? Let's wait and see. Alzen goes into the corner. He brakes late, and then he's bumped by Aiello. Now you can imagine the two sides of that story. Mercedes would say Alzen came up and got through the corner, and Aiello hit him. Aiello said, hey, he put the brakes on. I couldn't slow down in time, and I bumped him. That's going to be an interesting discussion, no matter what. Aiello has moved up a slot. And every little bit will help him now. There it is right there. They bumped. There's no doubt about that. The question is going to be is who did what to whom and how much was done on purpose. The Audi crew think they know what happened, that's for sure. So now, Laurent Aiello is obsessed. He has Christijan Abt ahead of him. Something's wrong with the Abt car, so Aiello is by him. He continues to charge. Ekstrom continues to lead. Fessler is second, then Schneider. So the man after the points is still up there. And the Opel of Manuel Reuter is still in there. And look at this. Aiello now is in the points. He has 1 point. He's running in 6th position. If it ends like it is now, Aiello's the champion. But we still have a ways to go. And Aiello certainly has some tough people ahead of him he wants to get by, particularly the Opel of Manuel Reuter. Mentioned earlier, Opel has had a disastrous season. They really need some luck. Wendlinger comes into the pits for the second time. He's back out in his Audi. He's had a difficult year. But he's back out in racing here. Tomczyk did get back out and was on the track. In fact, there he is. Martin Tomczyk Ekstrom gets by him, the two young Audi drivers. Oh, that's how that's going to work. Tomczyk, who is now a lap down at least, tucks in behind Ekstrom. He is there to make things difficult for whomever wants to go and attack Ekstrom. It looks like Austria all over again in some form or another. Well, this little chess table is now set. The question is going to be, is everybody going to play the game according to Hoyle? Audi. The crew watches. And now it's up to the big man. There's the question mark right there. Alzen did brake late. Did that affect Aiello, or did Aiello on purpose spin him out? That's the question. So far, no comment from the sports officials. Have to wait and see. This is going to be tight. There comes Fessler. There is Schneider. Then Reuter. Then Timo Scheider. And there is Aiello in his Audi, running in 6th position. He's got a ways to go if he wants to close the gap. And now for Matthias Ekstrom, the big moment. Can the young Swedish driver keep his nerves, not make a mistake, and take the victory? If he wins, Laurent Aiello will be the champion. He cannot let any of the Mercedes get by him, because then it'll be a chance for Schneider to come up to the front. And Laurent Aiello can only now sit back in 6th position, try to move up as best he can. And all he can do is watch, wait, and listen to the radio from the crew as they try to tell him what's going on. Timo Scheider in the Opel. He is running extremely well right now. Running in the 5th slot. There's Ekstrom. The difference now is the key. How far is Fessler back? 4.3 seconds. Then comes Bernd Schneider. And there was Tomczyk. Tomczyk in the yellow Audi, making life difficult for Uwe Alzen, who would like to have gotten by and tried to help out a little bit, but he couldn't do it. So Tomczyk is running interference. He is second on the track, but he is not second on the charts. He's way back. Fessler has gotten by Uwe Alzen. So now Marcel Fessler is going to have to go up and try to get by Tomczyk if he wants to go after Laurent Aiello. Meanwhile, sitting back in 4th place is Bernd Schneider. The tactics are the key here. But right now, young Mr. Ekstrom is running a great race. No one seems to bother him. He's keeping his lead. It dwindled a little bit, but there was some severe passing going on at that time. After that, though, Ekstrom has held on. Timo Scheider gives you a look at the racing back in the pack. He's running in the 5th slot, with Reuter ahead of him. You can see Reuter's Opel, the two Opels, doing pretty well there. And there comes Aiello. So the Opels can be very happy with their performance here today, even though the attention has been more on who's winning and where is Bernd Schneider and where is Laurent Aiello. Getting back to Ekstrom, Fessler's within 3 seconds, but getting back to Ekstrom, he finished 2nd in the first race at Hockenheim in the main race. At Zolder, he was 4th. He was 3rd at Donington. He was 7th at the Sachsenring, 3rd at the Norris Ring, 2nd at the Euro Speedway. He was 10th at the Nürburgring. In Austria, he was 11th, which is his worst position so far. He's been on the pole. He's won qualifying races, but he has not won any of the main events. This one could be a big one for him. Not only will he win, but he'd also give the championship to his team. A lot riding on the young man's shoulders. Nothing seems to bother the 24-year-old, though. He's right along with this young crew that has joined the German Touring Car Masters. He's right in there, and nothing seems to be stopping him. Laurent Aiello is still running in 6th. He has not made up a lot of ground. Doesn't seem he got by. Looks like Uwe Alzen. But the difference is going to be right there. Can he catch Bernd Schneider? Does he need to catch Bernd Schneider? But he's still got to get by the two Opels. Bernd Schneider, the dominating force in German touring cars, defending champion, two-time champion in the series. Laurent Aiello, many-time touring car championship in various countries, including Germany in a super touring car series, but never in this series. And today might be the day. Don't want to jinx him, but it might be the day. Ekstrom continues to hold on to that 3-second margin. Schneider still in third, Aiello in sixth. And for Opel, well, that's a fourth and fifth position. Not bad. Christian Abt is in seventh position. And Jean Alesi, who has had his problems, is running in eighth place. So you have actually three stories going at once here. You've got Ekstrom looking for his first victory. You've got Opel looking for a tremendous chance to get on the podium. You got Bernd Schneider and the Laurent Aiello duel for the title. And there's Bernd Schneider with a long ways to go. He is definitely sped up and is now trying to go after Fessler. They're going to have to do something here if they're going to be able to get him. It had been evidently hoped that Marcel Fessler would be able to get his Mercedes up and be able to challenge Ekstrom and keep him busy, and hope that Ekstrom makes a mistake in his rather young career here. Aiello sits back there, is not making up a lot of ground, is running in sixth. There really isn't much he can do now. He now just has to wait and see what happens. That's probably as nerve-wracking as it is up in front. His championship is in the arms of a 24-year-old Swede. That man, Matthias Ekstrom. Behind him is Tomček. Now Tomček is lapped, but he's also serving as a blocker. And look at this, here comes Schneider. He's going to take over second position. That's strictly tactics. If something happens to Ekstrom's car, then Schneider would inherit the lead and get the 10 points he needs for the title. Is he going to be able to do it? Well, we'll find out. Last lap. Meanwhile, Laurent Aiello has to play Zuschauer, as the Germans call him. He's going to be a spectator. He's going to have to watch it all and hope that 24-year-old Matthias Ekstrom hangs on to the lead, takes the race, and gives him the title. Couldn't be more pressure on the Swedish driver than there is today. Although he's been very cool throughout the season, this just to be something that he has not had to face before. Schneider in second. Ekstrom is your leader. Schneider is not closing the gap. We're coming down to the last moments of the last lap. The German Touring Car Masters title could be decided in the next few moments, with one race to go in the season. There's the Audi crew. You know they're holding their breath after all the experiences they've gone through the last couple of races, the disappointments they've had, the champagne that was not opened. It looks like today in the Netherlands the champagne corks will pop, but we're not there yet. There's the man that'll make it possible, heading toward the checkered flag. Matthias Ekstrom wins the German Touring Car Masters in the Netherlands. Gives the title to his teammate Laurent Aiello. Bernd Schneider, the defending champion, will be second in the points. It'll be an open race weekend at Hockenheim. But here in Zandvoort, it'll be an Audi celebration. And there's the champ, Laurent Aiello. And a crew certainly is not too happy, are they? Menu comes by and congratulates Aiello, the two Frenchmen. Good friends off the track. But right now, Matthias Ekstrom celebrates the win. Aiello, the championship. A fantastic race. Looking back down the field, Eric Ellery finishing 14th in his first outing in a number of races in the series. The celebrations will go on and on, particularly for this man, Laurent Aiello.
don't know. I am somewhere else. I think I am together with my grandfather, which died this year, and this title is for him.
And so the Audi team begins its celebration.
Mir fehlen die Worte, echt.
The words just aren't there.
Gigantisch.
It's fantastic. So there's the championship. Aiello with a 14-point margin has it by a point with one race weekend to go.
Ich meine, er ist über die ganze Saison
He was
sehr
very
konstant,
constant
sehr
throughout the
schnell,
season
bei
and
jedem
always among the
Training immer
fastest in
einer der
qualifying.
besten drei
He's
gewesen.
one of the top drivers
Und,
and deserves the
absolut
championship.
Meister, also verdient Meister.
The celebration on the podium. Aiello along with the race winners.
Ist nicht ganz so gelaufen,
It didn't
wie wir uns
go
vorgestellt
quite
haben.
as we wanted to.
Aber wir
We got the
haben
most
das
out of the
Ganze
car and
rausgeholt
we're
und
happy.
Von daher sind wir zufrieden.
And the man that had to be the most happy, besides Aiello, Matthias Ekstrom. I don't know exactly, but I did everything I could so that Laurent and Laurent would have the championship. Now that everything works so well, I'm happy. And he's champion. We'll celebrate tonight. And that does it for our coverage of the German Touring Car Masters from Zandvoort. The next stop on the tour, the Grand Prix course in Hockenheim. Hope you enjoyed the racing today. From Zandvoort, this is Milt Fitzwater. We'll see you in Hockenheim.